Morning. Hello all. Welcome to Foam Roller. Sorry for the delay. One of my colleagues was still hosting her class, Pilates, I believe. So welcome. Happy Friday. My name is Kai. If you guys haven't seen me around before, I'm helping Susanna take over these Friday classes in June. So just a heads up, if you've not taken the foam roller class from me, mine is considered more restorative, if you will. Today we're going to focus on posture. We're going to do some posture stretches, help synchronize that with our breaths, just to kind of relax into everything that's going on these days. And also everyone's still sheltering in place if you have not gone back into your work where you have proper ergonomics there, okay? And then we'll move on to some legs, working on those big muscles of the legs that I know most people still really want to get through. So I appreciate your time today. Happy Friday. Let's get through it. Feel free to chat with me. Let me know if you have any requests. But yeah, today is going to be about restorative foam rolling, trying to open up the body, elongate the spine, and just kind of decompress with everything right now. So I'm Kai. Welcome. Thank you. This is Agile PT's virtual class for foam rolling. Again, I mainly do more restorative foam rolling. I will be taking this class over on Fridays in June. Susanna, my colleague, will still do hers on Wednesdays. So just to keep that clear. Welcome. Thank you for joining me. Let's get started. All right. So what I'm going to use is the foam roller. The main one is the 3-foot long one, or 36 inches, 6 inches in diameter. We're going to lie on it a lot today, so make sure if you have the option, make sure you're comfortable with the one that's a little softer, and if you have only a firm one, you can also place a little towel or a little blanket on it to pad it up a bit, okay? So we're going to start off, I'm going to lower this down here. We're going to start off with just postural stretches where we're going to use this foam roller to get ourselves a little more elongated. You're going to lie down directly on this foam roller. Please try to support your whole spine on here from your head to your tailbone. And excuse me, I'm going to just move this back a little bit so you can see what I'm doing here. All right. All right, if this is too much, you can also modify this by standing up against the wall, all right? I'm using the foam roller that's white so that you can see the contrast due to my dark clothing here, okay? My feet are firmly on the ground, knees bent. We're 6 inches off the ground, and all I'm gonna ask you to do right now is just put your palms up towards the ceiling, lay your arms down if you're comfortable. And our spines are just gonna meet the foam roller. 6 inches off the ground, we're just allowing that gentle pressure of gravity to just let us melt again. Wake up to this Friday and allow us to decompress with everything. Work, life, all that stress, okay? If you cannot tolerate your arms 6 inches down on the ground here, feel free to place a pillow to elevate that, or do this for now, okay? Let's just do exactly what I did. Let's just breathe. Let's take a deep breath in through our nose. 3-4 seconds, okay? And out through our nose. Let's keep going. Out through our nose. As we're breathing, everyone, just allow gravity to push your body down into this foam roller. Help us elongate and de-stress. Deep breath in. Deep breath in through our nose. Out through our mouths. Deep breath in. Out through our nose, mouth. This will be a good time, everyone. If you want more of a stretch for your chest muscles here, you can bring your arms slightly towards your head, leave them on the ground. Okay, palms up to really try to open up our shoulders as well. Deep breath in, everyone. Through our nose, 3 to 4 seconds. Let it all out through our mouth, 3 to 4 seconds. In through our nose. Out through our mouth. In through our nose. Out through our mouth. Just try raising our arms up one more time for another cycle, about 5 breaths, okay? Gentle stretches in the front of your chest and the front of your shoulders. I don't want any pain. Okay, let's go ahead and take a deep breath in through our nose, out through our mouth. Sink into that foam roller, sink into the ground. In through our nose, out through our mouth. 3 more, everyone. Last one. I haven't done this one since I last taught this class, everyone, and I do feel tight as well, so just enjoy your time on that foam roller. We're using that foam roller, again, just to re-elongate our spine to help eliminate some of that forward posture that we're doing, whether or not we're working stressed out right now. So let's just use this time. Restorative foam roller is my name for Friday, okay? So we're gonna move on to the next thing, and that's more of a dynamic stretch for our chest muscles here. And it's gonna start also waking up those muscles of our shoulder blades, help with our posture, okay? Where we really need to help start loosening up our spine, stretching out our chest, and starting to work those upper back muscles that tend to get weak when we slouch forward, all right? What we're gonna do, this stretch is called the sunrise stretch. I've also called it the double backstroke, okay? Let's go ahead and go through the form, and then we'll sync it with our breaths. So what we're gonna do, we're gonna take both arms, we're gonna raise that over our heads, down towards our head, and then when we get to the range that you're comfortable with, bend your elbows, have your arms splay out, and come back around. You do not have to hit the floor immediately. Your arms also do not have to be symmetrical if you have one arm that has some issues. It's okay to have one arm doing a smaller circle, doing a smaller stroke. Anyone Finding Nemo fans, I call it Lucky Finn. All right. So again, your arms are going to raise towards the ceiling, down towards your head. Once you get to a range, your elbows are going to bend, splay those arms out, have your hands follow your elbows down and around towards your hips. And we're going to go back around. Let's do this a few more times. And then let's sync it with our breaths. All right. You will notice as your chest muscles and as your spine relaxes, your arms can probably touch the floor more easily. If you were just touching with your fingertips, you start feeling your forearms being able to touch the ground here, okay? Now, to sync with our breaths, I usually recommend as you bring our arms overhead towards the ceiling, take a deep breath in through your nose. And as your elbows splay out, elbows out, breathe out through your mouth. In through our nose as our arms go up towards the ceiling. And out through our mouth. as our arms come back around. As you melt in it, you'll probably feel those muscles that are touching the foam roller get a little bit of a massage, whether that be your back part of your neck, your upper traps, or even in between those shoulder blades. Okay? Deep breath in. As your elbows come out, you can start squeezing those shoulder blades around that foam roller. Getting a little bit more of a massage into it, as well as a contraction of those muscles in the upper back. Again, your posture really benefits from getting your spine more elongated, mobile, getting your chest stretched out, and your upper back more stronger. Let's do a last cycle, everyone. Let's sync with our breaths 5 times. Breathe in through your nose as your arms go up overhead. Out through our mouths. In through our nose. Out through our mouths. In through our nose. Out through our mouths. Let our shoulder blades squeeze around that foam roller. Last one with this, everyone. Deep breath in through our nose as our arms go up overhead. And out through our mouths as our elbows and our arms come back round, pinching your blades around that foam roller. Good. Hope you guys are doing okay. We're going to continue on. We're going to move into still continuing to work on the mobility of our back, opening up our chest, and now a little more emphasis in starting to pinch those shoulder blade muscles, those scapular muscles. Again, that's a huge benefit to keeping us in better posture. I call these the reverse bench press or shoulder blade squeezes, okay? What we're gonna do, we're gonna reach our arms up towards the ceiling, get your shoulder blades closer and closer to the ceiling, and then we're gonna go opposite, spread out our elbows, drive them towards the floor as we squeeze those blades around that foam roller. Most of you will probably feel that massage now, if you want to call it that. It might be painful for some people who are really stiff. Okay, let's work on the form before we sink our press. Up towards the ceiling, reach, 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 get our shoulder blades to round. And then we're going to go the opposite. Spread out our elbows down towards the ground and pinch those blades around that foam roller. Okay, now how to sync with our breath. Deep breath in. And breath out as we bring our arms back down to the ground. Deep breath in towards the ceiling. Elbows out and breathe out. Deep breath in through our nose. Out through our mouth. Squeeze those blades around that roller. In through our nose. Out through our mouth. By this time, you can probably squeeze well into that foam roller by now, okay? And out through our mouth. Let's do about 5 more, everyone, okay? In through our nose as we reach, bring our shoulder blades around and elbows out and slowly squeezing the foam roller around that foam roller. Sorry, squeeze your blades around the foam roller. And again. Let's try about 3 more, everyone. In through our nose as we're reaching. Out through our mouths as we bring our elbows and shoulder blades back. In through our nose. And out through our mouths. Last one. And out through our mouths. All right, everyone, just before we roll off, you can do what I call a little hula, where you just kind of keep your feet bent. You can put your arms down if need be, or you're just gonna roll side to side, trying to get that foam roller to really get those spots in between the shoulder blades there. Try not to fall off the foam roller. Okay, just do this a few times. And to get off, everyone, just make sure you put one hand down, support your body, slowly roll yourself off that foam roller. Sit up nice and slow. Make sure you're okay, not too dizzy. If you haven't done that in a while, that could be very dizzying, and create some lightheaded nausea for some people. So this is a great time to take a little break, kind of reset that spine, breathe a little bit. Take some water, really hydrate after this. The foam roller is basically a self-massage tool. So if you've ever had a massage for the first time and hit those areas that needed some work, you can feel a little nauseous. So we highly recommend that you hydrate, okay? We are not done with the posture. My 2 favorite postural exercises are next, and that is really to hone in on getting that upper back, that thoracic spine a little more mobile. The thoracic spine in general has a curve that goes forward, and it can get really stiff when we're stuck in front of our computers or hunching over things, whether or not that's family, children, work tasks. All right, so I'm going to continue to use the white foam roller, which is typically the softer one. You're more than welcome if you have the option to go into something more firm. This tends to be a little intense for some people, so just use what you can. Again, modifications for this can be while standing on the wall. You need a little more coordination with your legs, because they're the ones that are going to help you move if you do this against the wall. But if you're all okay, we're going to continue, and I'll show it to you on the floor. What I did now is I just turned the foam roller. Now it's going to be perpendicular to my body. What we're going to roll the thoracic spine, and that is basically slightly above and below your shoulder blades. So from here to here. I do not recommend you roll on your low back. I don't recommend that you roll on your neck. You physically can't, because you'll slide off that foam roller if you roll your neck, okay? Again, this is just a way to get our thoracic spine more mobile. That first series was to start loosening up our thoracic spine. This just gets a little more aggressive with it, okay? So we're going to start off. The foam roller is now perpendicular to your body. Feet still bent flat on the floor. Watch your hair, everyone. If you do have long hair, hold on to that. Tuck in your shirts. I will, because you will get stuck underneath the foam roller, all right? So what we're going to do, we're going to do a little bridge. Please protect your head and neck. We just took the time to relax it. So interlace your fingers behind your head. Relax your head into your arms, into your hand. Your feet down. You're going to do a little bridge. And we're just going to roll our upper back. Just a bit above the shoulder blades and below the shoulder blades. You will probably find that your back will pop a little bit, and that's okay. That's just a telling sign that your back was pretty stiff. In this position, it is okay to crack your back here. Right now, my elbows are up towards the ceiling, That's so that my shoulder blades can get out of the way a bit so that I can get to my spine a little bit more and in between those blade muscles. You'll probably also find that your hamstrings and your butt muscles and your abs are kicking in. So you get two for the price of one. Get a little mobilization and you get some core workout here. All right. After you've done a few rolls, if you can tolerate, you can continue with me. You can move your elbows away from each other, spread them out, and you'll also start getting the other parts of your shoulder blade. So you can mix and match. Elbows out, elbows in, totally up to you. All right, stop if you need to. I haven't done this in a while and I'm loving it. So I'm going to continue about 5 more rolls. Stop if you cannot tolerate that. Okay. And what we're going to do next is just exaggerate that. If you found some stiff areas in your spine, what I want you to do is find that spot. Hopefully it's still in your thoracic spine. Hang it out right there. You're going to lower your butt to allow that to rest. And for that stiff area, now I'm just going to slowly lower my head. You will probably not be able to touch the floor, and that's okay. Ooh, you probably feel that stretch right through the front of your chest, maybe into your abs if you're that tight. That tightness in your upper back is starting to, you're going to feel that. But we're working slowly and gradually into that. Come on off. Make sure you're not dizzy with that. The blood is rushing to your head at this point. We're going to try that about 4 more times. You can stick to that same spot and keep working on that. Take some breaths into this position. Or you can move into different spots. Up to you. 3 more for me. Go at your own pace, everyone. And I'm just taking a few breaths so that my spine can just relax into this position. Couple more for me. Found another spot, just relaxing into it. And obviously go in the range that you're comfortable. Last one for me. Okay, everyone. So that was my postural series, okay? Just lying on the foam roller was my first one, really getting your body to meet the foam roller, meet the pressure that the foam roller can have on your spine with gravity. Then we moved into sunrise stretches or double backstrokes. Then we got into shoulder blade squeezes. Lastly, we worked on the mobility of our thoracic spine. Those are the nice combination, the trifecta, if you will, for having better posture. Stretching out your chest muscles, working those weak upper back muscles, and mobilizing the spine, most specifically the thoracic spine, okay? Thank you. Hopefully you guys are ready to move on. We are now going to move on to foam rolling out those leg muscles. We're not going to do all of them. We're going to do the biggies that most people have issues with. We're going to work on our quads. We're going to work on our IT band, our butt muscles, and our calves, okay? So I'm going to stick to the white foam roller just so you can see that contrast. Feel free to move on to what you have at home. Harder foam roller. You guys probably may have gone into like some nubby version of the foam roller, up to you. And because this is a foam roller class, we're going to use a foam roller, but some of my patients have used something as intense as a tennis ball, all right, or a lacrosse ball. We're not doing that, and I'm not doing that because I can't tolerate that. So I'm going to use a foam roller. We're going to start by rolling out the quads. The quads are the front parts of your thighs right in here. They stand for quadriceps because there are four muscles, okay? We're going to try to reach all of them. It's not an exact science, but we're going to try to reach the whole area, generally speaking, okay? And we're going to do that by how we position our feet, right? So we got 1 in the front, 2 on the insides, and 1 on the outside here, okay? So how we're going to start, and take your break when you need to. When we foam roll, there's actually a lot of ab work because we're planking a lot, right? So as much as I'm demonstrating this, if you need to take a break and just watch, please do. Do it at your own pace. So main rule, do not roll on bone. Don't roll on these kneecaps. Don't roll on the bone here. And for the IT band, don't roll on this hip bone. You'll know when you hit on it, when you roll on it, okay? So basically, I'm going to position myself here. My feet are naturally just pointing towards the floor, and please do that for now. We're going to get the main one called your rectus femoris. That is the front part of your quad there. We're just going to do that by rolling up and down. It's almost like if you've ever had a massage, someone's taking their forearm and just going up and down your front part of your thigh there, okay? Keep in mind, if you have some knots and restrictions, just remember those. We're going to find those a little bit later and try to get them, right? As a PT, I'd highly recommend that you can keep your abs nice and tight. Don't let it sag through that foam roller, okay? There's a lot of planking here, okay? So go at your speed, okay? You don't have to go slow. You don't have to torture yourself if you haven't done these quad foam rolls in a while. Faster is a little nicer if you haven't done this in a bit. All right, so we're getting that front part of that quad muscle right here, okay? Now to get the inner part, all I want you to do is now turn your feet away from each other. When you turn your feet away from each other, you can now get more of the inner part of your quads or inner part of your thighs. Again, if you feel some restrictions here, just remember them. We're going to find them later on and try to attack them a little bit more. Try to roll the full length of your quads just right above your knee. Do not roll on your kneecap. But usually that bottom part of your quad is where there's usually more restrictions, definitely with the clientele that I have. Okay, take a break if need be. Again, there's a lot of planking here. Okay, not an exact science, but we're just trying to tenderize these muscles a bit. It's just one way to elongate those muscles, a different type of stretch, if you will. All right, if you're ready to move on. Now, last one for the quads. If you turn your feet inward towards each other, you'll get more of that middle, and you'll get a little bit of that outer quad. So go ahead and position yourself where you can turn your feet in. This is typically a little more intense for some people. Okay, and again, find those spots. Remember them. We're going to attack them a little differently if we want to work out those knots. Okay. Again, please take a break if need be. I'm going to move over a little bit so you can see me a little bit more. Again, my toes are still pointing in. So I can get more of the outer part of my quads. All right. Sorry for the commercials there. All right, so now to get some of those spots that you found while rolling, I call those speed bumps. What I want you to do, we're going to find 3 of those spots. I'll leave that up to you. Whether or not your feet were pointing towards the floor, in towards each other, or away from each other, we're going to find 3 spots. And once that foam roller is over that spot, what I'm going to ask you to do is actively bend and straighten your knees. Okay, that's one way to really kind of dig into that knot or that restriction, okay? So let's find that first spot. If you guys are rested enough. Oh, and my apologies. If you guys were looking for something a little more intense and all you have at home is a white foam roller, I did it with 2 legs, but you can always do it with 1 leg. Put 1 leg on top of, sitting on top of the other, so you got more weight down on it. Okay, that is one way you can make that more intense of a stretch. The other way is you can also roll more at the edge part if you really want more of an intense quad or foam roller stretch on those muscles. Okay, my apologies. All right, but we're going to get to working out those knots a little bit more. And what you're going to do is find that first restriction. Once you're on there, we're going to bend and straighten our knees 5 times right over that. Really work on that knot. 3, 4, and 5. So that's our first restriction. Go ahead and find that second one. Again, find it whether or not your toes were down, away, or towards. Find that restriction, and then we're just going to bend and straighten our knees. Don't be too alarmed if you happen to feel a little bit of a pop around your kneecap when you bend and straighten your knee. Your quad has specific attachments to your kneecap. So if it's under some stretch, it's going to pull on your kneecap a little bit. So don't be alarmed if that does happen. That's okay. If you want to take the range a little bit smaller, you're more than welcome to. Sorry, I'm talking through that. That must have been 5. Let's find our third restriction. Okay, and you're going to bend and straighten your knees 5 times on that one. Really work that knot out. And last one. Good. And take a break there. Good. Everyone take a little break from that. That's a lot of planking like I tried to warn you. The next thing we're going to do, just to take a break from our abs, we're going to move into our butt muscle, okay? We're going to try to target the butt muscle out here, all right? And we're going to do that through making the figure 4 position, okay? Let me take off my shoes real quick. So what we're going to do on the foam roller, we're going to do a figure 4 position, basically crossing one ankle over the top above the knee there, and that part is already getting that stretch of that buttock. For me, it's my left butt that's getting the stretch, and then we're going to foam roll right on top of that. Okay, so here we go. To take a break from our abs and all the planking we did with that quad stretch, we're going to sit right down on that foam roller. I'm going to bend one knee, okay, crossing my ankle over. I'm going to lean over the side that I've bent my knee, and that's when I'm going to foam roll. I'm just going to roll that. Slide back so you can see me. Okay. Woo. Enjoy this one. Okay, and of course, the more intensive a stretch in the figure 4, you're going to feel that in the glute there. Just be careful. I don't want any joints to get compromised. So make sure you're not actually hurting your knee with just being in this position, okay? Roll that out a bit. Good. And to switch sides, most of you can just switch legs just for the camera's sake. I'm going to sit over here, do the same thing. Cross one leg over the other, lean over to the side I've crossed, and I'm just going to roll out my glute here. Hope you guys doing okay. Again, thank you so much for joining me today. For Fridays in June, I will be taking over this class to help out my colleague. Again, I've kind of deemed the Fridays class the more restorative. I know Susanna does very intense work on the legs, okay? But I'm doing some postural stuff as well as some of the bigger leg muscles. How are your glutes feeling? I hope they're okay. All right, we're gonna move on to the fun IT band. Now, the IT band is off the side of your legs here, okay? And it is just what it is, a band, so it's going to feel a lot less comfortable than rolling over muscle tissue, okay? Again, no rolling on the knee, no rolling on the hip bone right here. This can be very intense, okay? So we're going to move on to the IG band. We're going to roll out the bottom leg. That's where you're going to get the pressure on that foam roller. All right, so the bottom leg is going to be straight. Top leg is going to be bent with the foot in front just to absorb some of the load. Your arm could be straight here or on your elbows, okay? And we're just going to roll that length. And again, if you have some restrictions, remember them. We're going to try to get to those. And if you haven't rolled your foam roller, sorry, your IT band in a while, You can go a little faster pace. You don't have to go slow and torture yourself. You'll work into it. The IT band has certain restrictions to the front towards the quad and a little bit to the back. So if you lean forward a little bit, you can get a little more intense stretch through your IT band and quad there. If you lean a little bit back, you'll get a little bit more with your hamstring insertion. Or you can stay right to your side. Totally up to you. Some people can only tolerate about 5 of these, so stop if you need to, sorry. Okay, and if you have restrictions, just remember those spots. Woo, and then let's switch. Most people can just turn around. For the camera's sake, I am hopping over. Again, we're rolling that bottom leg. You can be on your elbows, your arms, totally up to you. If you want a little more intensity, you can roll on the corners here if you don't have a knobby foam roller or a firm one, or you can just double up. Totally up to you, okay? Again, try to roll the full length of your IT band if you can tolerate such. Find those restrictions. We're going to find those. Just like the quads, we're going to work that out by bending and straightening our knee in a moment. I'm definitely going to count for that because the IT band is pretty tight for me, like most people. But okay, a few more, and then we're going to go find those spots. Okay. Since we're on this side, if you need a break, take a break. But we're going to move on to working out those restrictions, okay? So I'm going to find my first restriction. We're going to go through each leg. I found my first restriction, and I'm going to bend and straighten that bottom knee, the one that I'm working on, that IT band I'm working on. 2, 3, 4, and 5. Good. Let's find that second restriction. If you're following my pace. Ooh, there's that. 2, 3, 4, and 5. Let's find that third and last one on this leg. 2, 3, 4, and 5. All right, we're going to go ahead and work on this left side or the other side. Glad to be back, everyone. I need to roll out my muscles too. So for this new side, let's go find those 3 spots, all right? I found my first one. Follow along with me. Bottom leg is just going to bend and straighten 5 times. And 5. Let's find those 2 other spots on your IT band, the last leg. 2. You can tell this is tight. I'm grunting instead of counting. That's 3, 4, and 5. Let's move on to that last knot. Found mine. Hopefully you guys all found yours. And 5 knee bends. Woo. Let's all take a breath after that one. Usually this is the time, especially with working out the quad and IT band, that I usually tell people to stand up, walk around. You'll feel a new bounce to your legs just because usually your quads, especially that IT band, holds a lot of restrictions, okay? Feel free to test it right now. But what we're gonna move on is to our last muscle group, our calves. I like to work the calves, not our hamstring. The hamstring is not that any of these other muscles aren't big too. Our hamstrings need a little extra work and a little extra force on the foam roller. I usually tell people to do a certain stretch or actually use something a little more vigorous, if you will. But the calves really get a lot out of this. And what we're doing on the calves, you can simply do also on the hamstring. But for time's sake and this class sake, I will go ahead and just do the calves, okay? So the calves are the bottom part of our lower leg right over here. So there are two heads of that one, an outer or inner, okay? We'll get to that like the quad by just simply turning our feet position, okay? But the initial one, just kind of generally mobilizing the calves. We're just gonna keep our feet up towards the ceiling, kind of just get that start, get that tenderized. And then like the quads and IT band, we're gonna find 3 restrictions and work those out, not by bending and straightening our knee, but we're gonna pump our ankles, which get those calves to elongate and contract at that time, okay? So we're gonna place our feet, our calves, our lower legs right on top of that foam roller, okay? And what we're gonna do, we're gonna plant our hands. If you need some assistance, go find something to elevate you if need be, okay? But what I don't want you to do, don't roll right on this heel bone here. That's pretty intense. You're gonna start feeling the tightness right through your Achilles. And you can roll on your Achilles, just don't get to that bone, okay? So here we go. We're gonna roll out our calves, feet pointed towards the ceiling right now, just to kind of get them tenderized. Lift up, and we're gonna roll that full length. Sorry, let me scoot back. Keep rolling. Okay. And again, like I said, you can do this to your hamstrings too, but due to time and usually what I see for hamstrings, I usually do other things for the hamstrings, but you're more than welcome to do the same stretch, just moving that foam roller right under here, okay? All right, find those restrictions, remember them. This takes a lot of ab, tricep work. So if you need to take your breaks, take your breaks. Now I'm gonna turn my feet out to the side. That's gonna get that outer part of our calves, okay? Go ahead and lift up and go. Stop when you need to. Try to get that full length. Most of the time people feel that a little bit where the meat is, a little bit closer to the knee. All right, find those restrictions, remember them. And the last one we're gonna do is pointing our toes inward to get the inner calf, which is typically where most people say it's most intense. So be careful for these, enjoy it. Couple more. Beautiful. All right, now let's find those 3 restrictions, okay? Let's find those spots, whether or not your feet were up, out, or in, and instead of bending straight your knee, we're just gonna simply pump our ankles. Get that warmed up. Some people cramp up a lot when you get your foot involved, so get ready for that if that happens. Gently stretch that out just by putting your foot down firmly on the ground, okay? All right, let's find our first restriction. Once you found that, just point your toes towards your nose, down away, 5 times. Be careful. People have complained about their foot cramping, and I'm sorry. The calf has immediate attachments to the arches of your foot. All right, let's find the second restriction. Again, find wherever yours are. Mine, I'm pointing my toes out for this one. Couple more ankle pumps, all the way up, all the way down. Okay, last one. Find that spot. Enjoy our last 5 together for the day. Whew. All right, all. Thank you for having me back. So I'm Kai. I'm with Agile Physical Therapy. Friday's foam roller classes are going to be more deemed the restorative foam roller. Well, I'll do some for posture and definitely get to the legs. The legs need it as well. But I think everyone needs some posture work during these times, okay? Thank you so much for enjoying me. Happy Friday. Please take this to the weekend, enjoy it, and hope to see you next week. If you liked it, please bring a friend. See me next Friday. We have lots of virtual classes just through our website, agilept.com. I enjoy it. I needed it. I haven't done it since the last time I taught this. Thank you for having me back. Write me, send me any questions, requests. I'm happy to hear from you. Thank you again. Have a wonderful day and enjoy your weekend. Bye all. Thank you. Great to see you. Bye.